Hey everyone, on our podcast show this week, Amazon has enough new products to fill an entire delivery truck and deliver it to you sometime by the end of the year. There's a lot of tech to talk about, so let's get right into it. Winston, how are you doing, and what did you think of the new announcements so far?
It's good. It's good. I like the show. It was something that I can relate to really. If I'm not a tech guy, I wanted something at home, automation, that kind of stuff. It really kind of like grabbed my attention. I mean, yes, you got the Apple show, iPhones, watch, earbuds, and that kind of stuff, right? It's just talking about their products. But, with the show, it was talking about everyday stuff, but TV, the security, the ring lights and all that kind of stuff. So it's all it's something that I could relate to, definitely. So it was good. I like it.
As a smart home user here, I have basically everything Alexa. As you were earlier, I was telling people upstairs to stop stomping on the floor upstairs. I definitely rely on Alexa. She's one of my best friends in the smart home. And the whole event this time around, it's not going to be your Apple production value. It's not even Samsung production value. It's more practical. It's more down to earth. It's basically more homely, which I think that's the point. They want to be someone that you could invite into your home and feel comfortable with. And so when they started the event, there was a ring montage, which had me feeling that maybe this is about all those new devices that they really announced a year or so ago, where there was a drone. I was excited about that. I actually want that in my home, even though some people don't. I also saw a lot of thought and just really good planning about sustainability. They talked about their partners. They're decarbonizing. They're even using a lot more recycled plastics, and all of their packaging is going to be completely recyclable, which is extremely important. And of course, ambient AI and what that all means, ambient computing, which is basically stuff that's done in the background, which we'll talk about within the products in a little bit. But starting off with something that is probably one of Amazon's most iconic products, because they're a bookstore, is got to be the Kindle. Now, the Kindle Scribe is going to be their first product that allows you to use a stylus that works like a pen. What were your initial thoughts about that product?
Well, they really kind of put it down to like the kind of basics, right? I mean, the pen. If you hold an Apple one, right, it's all these buttons and all this kind of stuff, and you gotta and it's expensive, right? To buy that stuff.
No kidding.
It's expensive. It's just a pen, right? But this stylus that they have I don't think there's any buttons, right?
I don't think they didn't say a whole lot about it, but it did have. If it has, I don't know if it has a haptic motor, but they did make it sound like that it gave the actual impression of you writing on paper. So that could be a haptic response. There could be a magnetic response through the screen. It could be really anything. We just don't know enough about that because they only showed the device.
Yeah. Well, that's it. I mean, the Kindle back then, it was just a kind of a tablet, like what do you call it? E-ink, right?
It's super simple.
Yeah.
Lasts for weeks.
And it lasts for weeks, right? And you could just download the books onto it, and which is something I really like. And I had a look at it in one of the, I think it was one of those stores, Indigo, I think it was, one of those stores where they sell all that kind of stuff, and books, and they had a Kindle, the kind of like previous generation Kindle. I was looking at it, and I didn't realize how good the grayscale graphics
it's not bad.
Are.
It's really come a long way.
It's really good. It's really detailed. I looked at it, I thought, you see grayscale, I think, oh, that's like old technology. But no, seriously, I looked at the, they had a book cover of, I think it had a book installed onto this Kindle, and I can't remember which book it was, but it had the front cover of that book on the Kindle, but of course is black and white grayscale. But it was so detailed.
It's
and I flipped
surprising.
on to the next page, and all the text are there and stuff like that, and it was seamless. It was smooth. It wasn't like you had to wait to load the pages. It was like next page, next page, next page, and even you can actually download textbooks. So if you're doing like maths or maybe science or something like that, you can see of course the graphics and the pictures and the photos are actually in grayscale, but it was so detailed, and I thought that was impressive. So with the Scribe, now you have a pen. You can actually make notes. You could do all sorts of stuff on there. You could circle, like highlight areas. You know, when the old stylus and the tablets and stuff, you highlight the different colors like yellow, green, red, whatever. The colors, sometimes you highlight and the words are not actually, you can't really like make it out really because of the colors. So with the pencil, just circle around the highlighted text or graph or whatever, and it's much clearer and it's really good. High resolution as well, I heard.
Yeah, it helps a lot because in this particular version, first of all, it's probably the biggest Kindle that I've ever seen. It also has like this side panel where you actually hold on to it. One of the key things, and like alluding back to your textbook thing, is that it allows you to do sticky notes throughout the entire notebook, entire book, rather than writing in the margins and everything. It'll actually take those sticky notes and everything and give you a view of every single one. So if you made a note somewhere, you can actually refer back to the page that you were actually scribbling that note in. I also like the fact that there's a bunch of templates and sketching templates that allow you to actually do sketches in the detail that you were speaking of, because this device is definitely a lot more suited to people that like to doodle, like to take notes. And one thing that was key when the presenter, I can't remember his name, but he's got to be the product guy, and he said something about him, instead of taking that yellow notebook with him and the pen, he takes his Kindle now to all of his meetings and he writes all his notes in there. There will be an integration with Microsoft that's going to be coming soon, which allows you to take all those notes and transcribe them directly into Word, which I thought was actually a really good idea. So for someone like me that definitely. I do bring a notebook with me most places, I have papers attached to it or whatever, I think that a device like this, because it's not a tablet, it has a very specific purpose. I might actually bring something like this with me because it's not distracting. There are not 1,000 notifications going off on this thing. When I'm in a room with people that I'm meeting with, I can just take notes. It does that one thing really well. I can refer back to reference items because you can still browse the web, but it's black and white. It's not distracting. It's like the night mode on some of the new phones where it turns everything black and white, because then you're not engaged with anything. Less stimulus.
I like the word integration. I think that's really useful, especially if you're in meetings and things like that. In fact, my wife recently was offered the previous generation of the Kindle. And they were saying, you could use this and you can integrate it with Word and stuff like that. And imagine what's worse is you write a pen and paper, right? Yeah. Normal paper, normal pen. You're writing all these notes. You scrub them in, down and stuff like that. And then the next thing is you have to put all that into Word. Yeah. You go back home and you could do that again. But now you just, transfer it to Word or export it to Word. Done.
Absolutely.
And the other thing they have is also, I think, must be integrated, is those character recognition, right? You could sample your handwriting. Yes. And it'll recognize those words. So there's no how do you, what did I write? And sometimes you scribble, right?
Oh, yeah, totally.
You can't remember what you've written, right? But with this, you can actually have it character recognition, and it will transcribe, like I said, straight into or export into Word, which is really good.
The absolutely beautiful thing is that this is something that you can just throw in your backpack. It's like a paper. They say it lasts for weeks, which is incredible. And we can't wait for that Microsoft Word integration to come around. I'm hoping that around the same time that the Microsoft integration does come in, that we will be looking at maybe a discount, because right now the price is $339 US with the pen. You don't have to buy it separately, but it does include free 4 months of their entire library service, which includes 13 million pieces of content that you can consume.
You're talking the entire collection, all the books that they have on the Amazon store? 4 months.
4 months. I think that's...
Can you actually download them and store them or not?
Good question. Good question. I think I think so. It's been a while since I've used the pure Kindle, but I believe that once you buy the book, you own the book. But in the subscription case, you do lose access to it if it's a subscription. So
it's a subscription. Oh, I get you.
But if you buy the book, sometimes they give you discounts within that subscription if you want it for yourself forever. Totally. But I think that given the ability for you to get addicted to a book, the fact that it's easy to read, the fact that it lasts for weeks, you could even lose it in your car. Turn it on. It's like, oh, hey, I got a book here. I'm gonna read that, right? It's something to keep you entertained, and it's something that you don't, like a smartwatch where you actually have to, charge it every 2.5 nights.
Oh God,
it's terrible.
You know what? I had to charge this thing every night. Okay, it goes down to about 40% throughout the day, and then you have to charge it again. This thing though, how many weeks? A couple of weeks, right?
Weeks. It says weeks.
Weeks.
That's all they said. In sustainable packaging, of course, which is part of their new DNA for decarbonizing and everything like that. And with Microsoft as a partner, who is also one of their partners for decarbonization in their little group of elite companies.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
I tell you what, I can see a lot of people, especially students, use this in not, of course, just like normal topics, normal meetings, stuff like that. I'm talking about artists,
That's
and things
right.
like that. They could use that to, especially with the pen now.
There
you
are
could do
templates.
sketches.
Absolutely. I don't know how sketchy it is, because you have to be able to change pressure and other things and textures
shading and things like that, right?
So I didn't get that impression that it could do that, but it can definitely do line art. That's for sure. Some of the examples they showed were specifically line art. Who knows?
Because you know me, I got tattoos, right? And this is perfect for tattooing, like, you know, because you do the outline, right?
Yeah.
Color tattoos are not that popular, but black and white kind of tattoos, inking, especially like that. I think that'll work with.
It's helpful for some of the people to learn the proper spelling of words, because there have been a lot of fails on the internet with tattoos. Definitely write out the word and spell check first.
Yeah, and kids, I think that's good, especially. Sorry, I wouldn't say this, but kids which are learning different languages with different kind of like, you know, symbols and, you know, Chinese words, for example, right? It's great for
it might very well be, and I don't know if they have any content related to that, but it would definitely be a great way for them to integrate that without the distractions of some of the other devices out there, like the iPad, where you have 10 billion notifications. You can get Netflix and stuff like that. That's a distraction waiting to happen. If this is the device that you have, you're writing on it, you're doing all your lettering and everything, and you're practicing your cursive and whatnot. I think this is a good device, but we'll have to see, because I mean, this is one of the first devices that are of this kind that has all this integration into it. It's basically a super Kindle, and I don't know if everyone will buy this, but it's certainly going to attract a lot of people that wouldn't normally consider a Kindle. All right, let's get to product number 2, which is one of the scarier products in recent memory, because it's something that tracks your sleep. But Amazon claims that their new Halo Rise bedside sleep tracker is going to do it differently. Can you tell me a little bit more about their approach versus some of the others?
Well, I heard that you don't need to have it on you, like contact on your skin or your body.
That's good.
It's I mean, it detects it while you're sleeping with no contact. And I'm thinking, how the hell does it do it? Apparently, it tracks your sleeping, breathing patterns. That's crazy, right?
It is kind of crazy.
And it's done like thousands of hours of research of AI and machine learning, that kind of stuff, to recognize patterns in your sleeping, your breathing patterns.
It even knows that your dog is sleeping on top of you. It can actually separate the two things. It can recognize the dog.
And also, if you have a partner sleeping next to you, it only detects the one closest to the Halo. I think it's called the Halo, right?
Yeah.
Halo Rise, they call it, this thing. So no batteries. Was it no batteries? No apps.
Into the wall.
Plugs into the wall.
Yeah.
Okay, and no camera no cameras, nothing. It just records your sleeping.
It's like a super alarm clock does what it needs to do. It'll be an expensive alarm clock to break if you whack it off your bedside table. It works with all of the Amazon Alexa Echo Show devices to show your sleep patterns. But if you want to be more private about it and you have other people using Amazon Alexa, you can delete that data seamlessly, or you can you can have it specifically linked to certain devices in the home only. That'll be something that we'll have to check into. Ambient light, of course, it's like any one of the super high end,
like a table lamp,
like a table lamp, but it's any one of the super high end alarm clocks that actually give you the ambience. It wakes you up gently, but because this is actually in contact, in connection with your sleeping patterns and everything like that, it'll optimize its wake up routine to get you up at the right time before you get groggy. I think that's amazing. Yeah. This is some of the technology that if we remember back to the Nest show, or not Nest show, the Google Nest. I can't even remember what they're called. I don't even have one at home anymore. But the Nest version of this device that actually had sleep tracking, I think it did something similar. But, of course, it's Google. are they any less scary than Amazon? What are your thoughts on that?
I think the both companies are heavily into this kind of automation and this home automation, health tracking, that kind of stuff. And one thing they have in common, what is that? Masses and masses amounts of servers, right?
And data.
I mean, Amazon, big data, right? Amazon, Amazon AWS, Google's own services and stuff like that. So they have huge amounts of data from the users, especially with Amazon now. So they can gather all this information and then use AI algorithms, that kind of stuff, to optimize, like I said, to make products that best suit your needs.
Yeah.
And you know, when back in the day, in the 80s, the alarm clocks, they had this button called sleep, right?
Or snooze.
And I always wanted to tell, why do you, or snooze. And I'm thinking, what the hell's a snooze? And you press the button, it gives you like 2 minutes or 3 minutes before the alarm comes back on again, right? So that was the old way of doing it, because your body can't just get up like that, right? It kind of like you need to slowly work your way up to being fully awake.
That's right.
And this here with the sleep and also ambient kind of lighting and stuff like that helps you ease your way to fully awake. So I think that's pretty cool.
Now, speaking of data that you were talking about, there's a pile of data that it does also tracks, including the humidity and the temperature, because there's a humidity and temperature sensor inside. Now, what that does is it integrates directly with the data that it collects to tell you why you weren't sleeping correctly. But here's the creepy part. Here's where Amazon sells you. In the presentation, they did mention that with the tracking of the heat and humidity inside the room, if you have a connected smart fan, it'll actually allow you to create a routine to actually turn that fan on to decrease the temperature in the room. The other part of it is because it detects humidity. Well, guess what? Amazon can also sell you a dehumidifier, which will actually turn on and remove the humidity in the room. I think both things are really great. It's kind of creepy that they track everything, but without these two pieces of data, it wouldn't be able to figure out when you should turn that on and when you should turn on the fan.
Yeah, I mean, when I was a teenager, in my 20s, I regularly used to sleep one night, and then I'll wake up with no duvet cover. Right? I'm thinking, well, the hell's my duvet cover? It's on the floor. And the reason why is because during the sleep, you actually your body temperatures fluctuate.
Yes.
So it goes down, it goes up. When it goes up, you're feeling hot and you're kicking around, you're moving around, and you literally, without you knowing yourself, when you're sleeping, you're actually moving your duvet cover out to get cooler. With this ambient kind of technology now, the Amazon can actually detect the temperature. You say, your body's getting hot, so they'll turn on the fan, right?
Yep.
Humidity, same thing. And so now it gives you that more kind of in that deep sleep. You get a full night's sleep, and it makes you wake up a better, kind of more focused, more alert person, I guess.
Well, I think that one of the things that all of us lack these days is a proper night's sleep. We have devices distracting us.
That's right.
We have everything. We have people outside distracting us because they're up all night. If we can just get a good night's sleep, we would be a much better person, less grumpy, and we will probably have a fewer health problems. So I think that in a sense, Amazon is actually kind of trying to do us a favor. There's going to be those people that think that freedom, like they're going to drive across the country to the Amazon warehouse and tell them that you shouldn't be doing this. But hey, you know what? I would rather have a good night's sleep. And I think that a dehumidifier, which I will probably buy, and a fan, which I'll probably buy with this device, will make me a lot happier person. And happy people don't go around and bother other people. All right, what's next? We've got the Echo Studio Update Gen 2. Now, technically, it's not a Gen 2. They just have a new color choice, which is the white color. I think that it works better in a lot of places because the gray carpet-looking thing, it didn't really have the panache of something that needed to sit in a living room. It just showed up. You saw it. It was there. So basically a cosmetic update, not a huge hardware update. But the one thing that I kind of like is the fact that there's going to be new software updates that they're rolling out that will optimize the base, the clarity, and the presence of the hardware that's already in it. And it's coming soon to all previous generations. When these guys ship they will have that software, but after it ships, the software should come into your previous charcoal colored Echo Studio, which is great. A $199 US price. If you haven't already gotten one already, you can pair them up for stereo mode. You can even match it up with the Echo Studio sub as well too for a 2.1 setup. Ships in October 2022. Are you tempted to buy one this time around? Black Friday's coming up.
Yeah, I don't have a speaker like one of these things at home, and I always wanted to figure out whether to get this one or I think it was the Dot, which we'll mention later.
Yep.
The Studio is the big one, right?
The
With
Studio
the better sound.
it's basically a speaker. Like it does,
Yeah.
and an Alexa. It does nothing else but make sound.
Yeah.
And do Alexa.
So it'd be similar to something like you heard of those bigger brand names Bose with the sound, right? And those speakers, those wireless speakers, Bluetooth speakers. And I'm thinking, well, is it comparable? Do I want one of these? Well, if you get the Bose, it's just sound only.
Yep.
Bluetooth, audio, that's it. Good sound, of course, from Bose. But this one, of course, from Amazon, you got the studio quality audio plus, like I said, built-in Alexa, which is something.
Makes it useful.
Yeah, makes it useful. I could. I'm looking to whether to get this, but who knows? $199.
Not
I could
bad.
consider.
There's going to be a feature that we're going to be talking about a little bit later. I wonder if it's built into it, but we'll call back to this product. Moving on, Echo Dot. Like this is one of your favorites. It's cheap. Let's talk about the price right away. $49.99 for the regular Echo Dot, which is not a puck anymore. It's actually a sphere, and then one with the clock, which has a display, some sort of a pixel display. I think it's worth the extra $10. I would pay $59.99 for that. $10 difference between the two. I think it's more useful. It shows the song that you're on. It shows the time. It shows any useful information visually without a screen. So it has no camera. So it's I think so. I mean, price good, right? Probably.
Well, what I really like the new version is that they included what they call the EERO, right?
Yeah.
It's like mesh Wi-Fi, and it's like you could just put one of these in your living room, or put one of these in your other rooms, and you will have like an undisrupted kind of Wi-Fi connection, which is less disruption. But I like that feature, and they're going to be adding that to all the Echo Dots. Is that right?
All the upcoming Echo Dots, I don't know how backwards compatible they did have a chart and told us exactly which models did have it built in. So I have a feeling that maybe if it has the Matter radio, it might have the ability to also augment the wireless network, because I think there's some similarities in the hardware there. We'll have to wait and see this to have more clarity, but they did have some sort of chart that had specific models from, I think, 3rd gen and up. This might be the 4th gen of the Dot already. So that's a good feature, because EERO systems are not cheap. They are $800, $900, $1,000. I got the EERO Pro Wi-Fi 6E setup when it was on sale, a huge sale for under $700 when it was happening. My Google on hubs were all dying because they're dead, so I didn't want that around in my house. So I got this setup, and oh my god, the Wi-Fi is incredible. But I bought the 3-pack, so I'm wondering if maybe I made a mistake. I'm wondering if maybe I could have just bought the 2-pack, saved myself a bunch of money, and just had the ability to offer, like, put all these dots all over the place. Like, what am I missing out on? Except for money.
I like the dots. In fact, this is the one thing that I caught my eye. I thought, okay, rather than just using currently in my other house, like back in the UK where my brother is, we're using the TP-Link, one of those portable, where you put them in the different rooms. Deco, they call it. TP-Link Deco.
Yep, the Deco.
They were good. But of course, it doesn't have that Amazon kind of Alexa function, right? But imagine having one of these now in each of my rooms. Yeah, I could just, I don't have to configure anything. I just plug and go, right? That's the one thing I like about Amazon is, like, people even with iPhones and earbuds and watches, you have to set it up. Yeah. With these devices, Amazon devices, it's no setup. You just plug it in and hook it up to the Wi-Fi, right? And connect it up.
It's even easier if you have an Amazon Prime account, because you can actually buy devices with it attached to your account out of the box, or you can buy it blank and you just start over, which is a huge service. Amazon is promoting a out-of-the-box experience that basically you open it up, you turn it on, it's ready to go if you've attached it to your account, because it knows.
it's becoming more of a lifestyle company as well.
Yes,
Whereas
absolutely.
before, you mentioned Amazon years ago, it's a bookstore.
Yeah.
And then a few years later, oh yeah, you can buy
Shopping,
stuff
mega
online,
mall.
shopping, yeah.
Yeah.
And then for the tech guys, it would be like, yeah, AWS, servers and web servers and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But now they're moving on to really getting into that home automation, that's lifestyle stuff, which I
Yeah.
think it's a good way of getting into, of course, other products and other sectors. So
Yeah. There was an interesting
I like
fact.
it. I like the Echo Dot. It's
Yeah.
something I definitely would be possibly buying for Christmas, or like I say,
Or
Black Friday
giving to
coming
other
soon.
people. Yeah, like there was an interesting thought. The Echo Dot $49.99, fantastic value, gets you into the home, smart home space. But one fact that they, at least I think it's a fact, they were saying that their customers, 90% of them, are already using routines to run their life.
Yeah, yeah.
So
that's
these are things that happen already in the background because it's been suggested to them that you can do this and it would do that. Oh yeah, no, totally. I'm into that. So the only problem that I have right now is that with the whole green initiative and everything that Amazon has to decarbonize, I have Amazon speakers in my house. If I wanted to upgrade, what's the path for me? Can I send it back to Amazon and do an upgrade and get a credit? That's something I would really want Amazon to look into because I would gladly trade up to the next generation, but I already have a Dot over here, an Echo, Echo speaker over there.
I think that's the next step, isn't it? I mean, if they really want to target those home automation, that kind of user lifestyle space, then next thing to do is to offer like some sort of kind of reusable or
like
refundable,
take the products back, recycle them, grind them up, do whatever, and then make them into the next generation Echoes. I would totally be into that. I would keep being your customer for these because I'm seeing these features. I want them, but I can't justify replacing this one device that's still working.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I would definitely, if I was Amazon, to consider doing a recycling program, which I think would really give them another heads up.
Oh, it's an
against.
edge.
Yeah, an edge.
Competitive edge
over other competitors. Yeah, yeah.
Now, speaking of the next generation, we've also got the Echo Dot Kids, which are coming out in both Owl and Dragon, which is basically the motif and everything. These do have the display on it, so they're a little bit more useful at $59.99. It has the 2-year worry-free guarantee. I don't know if you have, if anyone in the audience has kids, but their tablets, when you buy the kids versions of them, you can beat the snot out of them, and Amazon will still take them back, which is incredible. And one thing that they're launching in Canada, hopefully sometime soon, is the Hey Disney function, which will allow you to, like have Disney characters play along with you, tell you stories and everything like that. They've already have something in the theme parks called the Magic Band Plus. Now, anyone that's been to a theme park that takes that home with them, because I think you have to buy it. It'll start working with your Amazon once this Hey Disney comes in.
Yeah. So the story is for me. I think it was 2019. Yeah, 19. I went to Disneyland, Disney World.
Wait, is Hong Kong still around? It's
closed, right? Yeah, Disneyland is still in Hong Kong. Yeah, but
really?
Disney,
okay.
we did Disney World. It was part of a works trip to do this big conference thing, and we had these Disney bands, and they were just RFID kind of bands, very boring. We had that Disney logo on there, but the bands nowadays, oh my god, they're like smartwatches with RGB and everything, and it tells you the time, tells you the where you are with the kid. Yeah, it's like whoa. But this, of course, with that kind of watch, or I would say smartwatch, but it's with that kind of band, they of course use that integrated with, like I said, Hey Disney, and with all that kind of stuff, which is really good. Interesting, very interesting.
Now, outside the ecosystem, of course, they have something that's powered by AI inside their system, which is the Story Creator. I think it's kind of neat. It does require a server. It's more of an Echo Show type thing. But once you turn on this skill, you can actually create your own stories that are AI generated, and that makes them more personalized, right? It's not something that you've heard before. Yeah. It's also something that you create. So there's a lot of AI ambient stuff going on here, even in the kids space. Creepy or not, I think it just makes life a little bit more creative, a little bit more fun, and a little bit more useful. But speaking of Amazon and Alexa, it's coming. We know that Amazon Echo Auto was a bit of a a flop product. People didn't really understand it very well. It's like, why would you want this in your vehicle when you already have your phone in the vehicle? Because you have to connect the phone to that. And I also know that the new the app now has a driving mode. So can you tell me, Winston, why someone would need this new Echo Auto? Like, I'm trying to think of a use case here.
I think it's more of a infotainment kind of sector there. I think they want to get you guys to, because they're into the streaming service, right? Especially with Prime, with Disney Plus, kind of, you know, all that kind of streaming stuff. So especially with audio and everything. So they're trying to get all that as an entertainment thing. And I looked at it and I said, wow, you can have a 32-inch super wide 4K screen inside your car. And you can watch movies and everything in there. It's a bit crazy, but I think it's more infotainment.
But are they actually going to sell that? Because the Echo Auto sticks to your dashboard. That sells for $54.99. Like, most people have their smartphone already. The smartphone is more useful. Do you think this is more for older vehicles or people that are not used to looking at the screen? Because I think
it depends. I mean, yeah, I mean, if you're in a family car, what we call sedans, right, or saloon cars, I don't think you really need it. But if you have a 7-seater with family, kids, and you have like 4 or 5 kids at the back with a 7-seater, right? So you have an entertainment system where you could pull up all your Disney stuff, you could pull up your streaming stuff and watch, you know, Prime and everything. Yeah. So it's good for them to keep occupied, right? And then for you, in the front, you could do look at home automation stuff. You could make sure you could check on your cat, you could check on your dog, whatever. You could, if there's a doorbell ring, your parcels like package that gets delivered. Your partner next door while you're driving, your partner then can check all that stuff. So I think it's something that it could be integrated. How well it get integrated and is it useful, I don't really know. But
it still seems so limited, because I can tell you right now, when I plug my phone into my infotainment system in the car, it already has the ability to switch to Android, to Amazon Auto, Alexa Auto, and it turns on. It will tell you things if you ask it, because it becomes the smart assistant in your car. So I don't understand Echo Auto. I still don't understand why Echo Auto needs to exist, because it's just a speaker. Like, I mean, I can already do this with my smartphone. Because this attaches to your smartphone, I still don't get it. Like, I really don't. I'm trying to understand this. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe the part I'm missing is the fact that if I turn my phone into an Amazon device, I can't use Google anymore. So maybe this being attached to my phone still allows me to access Alexa, but Google is still on standby when I ask her to navigate and whatnot. So maybe that's what I'm missing here. I want to check it out for that purpose, but
you're a guy who drives a lot, especially with your road trips and that. It's something you could give it a try, right?
But I still like Google better. Google works in the car. Even CarPlay works in the car for Apple users, right? Yeah. So I'm just I don't know if Echo Auto is what we need, but the BMW partnership that they spoke about was something that was actually a lot more what we were thinking, because if there is anywhere that is in dire need of a better infotainment experience, that's in the vehicle. And right now, only Google has been putting their Android Auto, like the full OS, inside of Volvos and some other vehicles. BMW working with Amazon is a huge deal, and that's what's going to give you that experience where you've got a Fire TV inside your car and you've got entertainment.
Exactly.
This is encroaching on the Tesla features, which is like
that's right. So
there.
Almost competing with Tesla. And then think about it, what Google has advantage is the Google Maps, driving, that kind of stuff, and then of course all the infotainment stuff is Android based, right? So they have a leg over with the OS.
That's right.
Alexa or Amazon don't have an OS, so they have to rely on Android anyway. So but the one thing they do good, or better, definitely better than Google, is the entertainment, right? They have their own streaming service, they have their own audio stuff. So if you look at that, you merge them together, and then you have this thing in the BMW, which I think it will enhance the entertainment kind of experience that you get inside the car. So
I do like some of the use case scenarios, like if you need to reserve a charging stall for one of their I series vehicles, you can do that in advance, and when you drive up, you're set to go. That's your stall for the next 30, 40 minutes. That's fun. More of a European thing probably, because people are a little bit more polite there and like to do things by the book. Then there's also the ability to actually set your appointment services automatically by just asking Alexa to reserve it. Those are low-level things that you could probably do with Google with an app, but like it'll be interesting. Like I know that earlier on, GM also had a relationship with Alexa. It's built into some GM vehicles as well too, but it was very limited in what it could do. So I'm hoping that this BMW partnership isn't just smoke and mirrors, where it's just having this guy fly in just for a few seconds just to make it more exciting. Because this like Echo Auto, I never really understood the benefit if your smartphone is already in the car. So we'll have to wait and see. Now, we've taken up enough time on this product that I still don't get, but let's talk about ASTRO.
ASTRO, yeah. So ASTRO is like a software development kit, right? Allows developers to kind of like develop apps and kind of the whole ecosystem behind this the what they call ambient intelligence.
Well, the robot's fantastic because I've already put my name in for the invite. I want this robot in my house. I've also heard that it likes to throw itself off the top of stairs because it doesn't understand. So maybe with this SDK and everything, maybe the people that they mentioned from MIT, Georgia Tech, and University of Maryland, they might be able to help them stop this thing from falling off a cliff.
Yeah, it's true. And I think a lot of people don't realize there are elderly people there which are really lonely, right?
That's right.
Seriously. And there's a big campaign years ago in the UK said loneliness kills. So seriously, so when you have like an Astro kind of robot thing that roams around, speaks to you and makes sure you're okay, checks up on whether you've fallen and calls the emergencies, that kind of stuff. Even if you have medication that you need to take, it'll remind you. It's like a little buddy that follows you around and gives you that kind of you don't feel as lonely, right? And with the Astro development kits and stuff like that, you can do more with it. Health stuff, you can do health and kind of like basically anything that you could think of, you can actually program this thing to do.
Now, Astro is not a product that right now that you can purchase directly. You have to be invited into the program, and then you get to purchase it, and then you get to pay for this particular device. But for people that haven't seen it, it's basically the size of a small kid's rolling suitcase that roams around your home. Needs a little bit of help because it can actually scan your house. It throws itself off stairs because it doesn't understand that, but it scans your house and it looks for things that are not the same as before. So doors that are open where they shouldn't be, you can tell it that this shouldn't be happening. Drawers or a body on the ground, that shouldn't be there. Maybe we should call the authorities and scan this thing over here. I do like the business applications right now. Some people that have been accepted into the program have been using Astro with their Ring system, the Ring security system on premise at businesses to be like a super duper watchdog system. And they'll be rolling out a more robust system with the floodlights and everything for businesses in a pilot program coming up soon. So it looks like they are definitely doubling down on Astro. And I think the reason why is because earlier this year, they tried to buy iRobot for $1.7 billion.
I know.
And currently, that's with a B. Unfortunately, the FTC has found some things that it is concerned about, and it's mainly because of Amazon's appetite to eat smaller companies. They ate EERO and they brought them into the fold. They ate Blink and they brought them into the fold. And if they eat iRobot, what's going to happen is they're going to have the market cornered on a device that can scan your entire floor plan, because that's what it does to figure out and map your house. But that's a huge privacy concern as well too, in addition to having a monopoly on every single smart home device that's in your house.
That's true. I mean, it'll be good for realtors, right? And estate agents, where they can scan. They put this robot in, and they'll just scan the entire layout of the the property. The other security concern is when, for example, big provincial buildings like museums, like courthouses and stuff like that.
Yeah.
All those building planning and layout is only stored in one place, and that's the government buildings, right? You can't access that unless you have, authorization and stuff like that. Imagine someone may be able to hack one of these in, put one of those, you just scan the entire government building, right? Which is a security concern, I guess.
Yeah.
But the technology is it's always been there, right? Same as mapping seabeds and stuff. They got robots to do that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
But it's good in what you said for security. I think they might get into the security business. Amazon. Remember, there was a story about Amazon and Pentagon. Those two. They were gonna try to do it, and then they didn't go through with it. And
probably a good idea.
Yeah. So it's something that Amazon could go into. Security business where it's a big sector, and they already have those servers for cybersecurity anyway. So it's something that to think about in the future, I guess.
Well, Astro right now, as it stands, if you're a lonely old person, you're probably already speaking to your Roomba. In which case, at least Roomba vacuums your house. Yeah. And in the new version, it even mops it. So I don't know. Astro seems less useful as you look at the use case for a robot that might actually have the ability to talk to you and do all these things. But if they had both, they would be unstoppable. And I think that I think that the FTC looking at them might not be an invalid concern. There are things that if they have this technology, if they have Astro as well too, they could. They have everything. They can clean your house, watch your house. Secure your house, light your house, play music, and entertain you as well too. It's a real monopoly move.
One use case that they showed on the video on the event was there was a cat or a dog or something, I can't remember, and it would check up on the dog or a cat, and then you can get the video stream of that event where there's a dog, cat, whatever, streamed straight into your phone, and people can just say, "Oh yeah, he needs a food or needs a drink."
Cat cam.
But it moves around.
Now, speaking of devices that help keep you safe, we also have a new, and we'll just touch briefly on these devices because they're not huge updates, but we have the Ring Spotlight Cam Pro, which basically adds LiDAR detection at $229.99. It has two huge lamps on it and night vision and everything. One thing that as a Ring user, I do appreciate the fact that you can actually do the bird's eye view, which scans your entire yard and looks for how people try to get in your yard. So it'll figure out the footsteps. So if this person is coming onto your gate, then checking your windows, then you know that person's bad. You should probably check that footage. The other part of it is the fact that because these devices are normally wireless, they don't have a wired connection for power. You want to conserve power. So having the AI alerts that says, dog, leave it alone, person, record that. That's a lot better for false negatives because your phone isn't ringing off the hook, and it'll preserve your battery life. Pretty standard stuff, just taken to the next level. And then surprisingly, Blink. Do you remember these guys? Like, I mean, they haven't had an update in 2 years.
I know. And the whole thing was that it was meant to, was it like a recognition, and it kind of like the camera will move
Neural
and things
network.
like that. And then but they've taken all the, I guess, good bits out of that and put it into this camera thing, right? Flood camera thing.
Still flood camera? Like this is the problem I have with Amazon is that, hey, we got this Ring Spotlight Cam Pro. Oh, we also have another flood camera. It's half the price. What am I losing here, right? I mean, I guess in a sense you have to have products for everyone. So if you're looking at the Ring Spotlight Cam Pro for $229, you have to pay a subscription service still to get the most use out of it. What does the Blink bring to the party, right? I mean, it's $99. You have an app, you can look at stuff, but the Ring is a product by a lot.
That's true. I mean, I guess it's just a recording, and it's not subscription, right? So it could be just recording locally. Whereas if you get the other one, I think it's a full service where you can record to cloud.
Starts at $5 a month. I have that. I have that plan as well too.
So you have double the kind of like peace of mind. You don't have to worry about storage. Will my SD card store all that footage? No, it's already in the cloud. and you
Yeah.
could then go back and watch it and stuff like that without having to download it.
Yeah.
You can actually use the app on the phone, right? Just to go and watch it and go back, right?
To be perfectly honest, I looked at
yeah.
the Ring Spotlight Cam Pro and I'm like, the Blink, I don't want to look at this. I just
Yeah,
kind of zoned out right there. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Well,
So-
skip that. Next part. This
Next
is
part.
interesting. I like this one.
EERO POE 6.
Yeah. So it's a wireless, what is it? A Wi-Fi kind of adapter?
It takes
Router?
your current Ethernet, it turns it into power over Ethernet, and it puts these nodes in places
Nodes.
where there's a wired backhaul to it. I think that's
Right,
the
right.
idea. So if you have like an alarm system and you need a more stable connection, or if you have smart
Yeah.
TVs, smart devices that are wired in specific places,
Yeah.
if you take the gateway, which is $649, in addition to the $299 per station, you can have your house hardwired in with Wi-Fi backup and
Yeah.
Matter support and all
It's-
these other things.
Yeah, so it's very similar to what you have in an office environment.
Yeah,
When I was
very
working
close.
back in GE, they had these Wi-Fi devices that were stuck on the wall, but there's no power.
Yeah.
A power adapter. You don't need to plug in the power. It's already through the LAN cable. That's why
right.
it's called Power over
Power,
Ethernet.
PoE.
Yeah.
Oh.
So the LAN cable provides the power, but also the data as well. So and that's all connected up to a massive PoE router, which we
Yeah.
have in the office. Some
10
something-
gigabyte as well too.
Yeah.
Definitely
Something-
enterprise grade. Definitely
Yeah.
for a business. I think this is the play. This is the business play.
And then you have the gateway. They say it's a gateway. It's really just a router with PoE. So you can plug
Yeah.
all those devices into this gateway, and each Wi-Fi device will get powered through this gateway. And $649, a little bit. You might think, oh, it's a little bit on the steep side, but imagine
it is.
everything is less wires. I guess you don't need a power adapter anymore. You just
Well-
need the LAN cable, which gives you the power.
Think about it this way: business switches.
Oh, they're expensive.
Dude, a Cisco
Yeah.
switch will cost you $2,000.
Thousands.
This is a PoE gateway, power over Ethernet with 10 gigabit support for the wired ports.
Is it 10 gigabit?
Tell me this is not. Tell me this is expensive. This is not expensive. It's 10 gigabit.
Wow, 10 gigabit.
It's
So imagine
10
I can
gigabit.
have a system where, especially my motherboard's now 10 gigabit. You can have. Ooh.
Right? So this belongs in your server room. This belongs in your server room. The nodes go out in your
Yeah.
This seems like it's more of a warehouse setup where it's like, oh, I got a warehouse over here.
Or a studio
I'm gonna set
setup.
this all up. Studio,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
You know, it's definitely going to be. Oh, and it also has Matter support. Now, Matter is very important because, and I guess this would also be good for like a home installation in a mansion or something like that, because Matter support allows all your Wi-Fi light bulbs, like the Philips and everything like that, all the home automation to be bridged together in the next generation. I don't know of any existing like current generation smart home devices will support Matter if they don't already out of the box, because this is a new standard that Apple, Google, and Amazon are getting together to create this unified standard so that everything can talk together without translation hubs. Because right now, like Siri doesn't talk to anyone. Apple
Oh, it
Home-
doesn't. It doesn't.
Yeah.
Siri only talks to people with Apple
Yeah.
devices. That's it.
HomeKit does not work with anything else without translation, without a bridge. So this is good for Apple to get into the ecosystem, and it's probably why they didn't talk a lot about it in any of their presentations, because the ecosystem is just not ready yet.
Yeah.
You don't have routers that allow this, and because Matter support is important to get that going, they're just waiting for the infrastructure to kind of come out to make it more ubiquitous so that their devices will work.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd love to
So-
see how everything will gel together. I do like this Wi-Fi device with this EERO Wi-Fi 6 and PoE and this gateway. So
I like their software. I've been
think
an
they
Eero customer.
Yeah, I think they should do a packaged bundle. Say you get 2 of these Wi-Fi devices and this gateway for, I don't know, try and get it under 1,000. I think that's, it's a good price.
Still, this seems more like something that a power user's house would have, because you have your Ethernet closet. You have all your cables snaked into this closet. This, in that home, would be a fantastic upgrade.
Oh, yeah. I think
this is a limited case, though,
yeah,
unfortunately.
Yeah. So a big house, a warehouse style kind of office,
Business,
possibly a
power
studio. I think will work really well. If you're a power user, definitely.
Absolutely.
A power user like Steven himself there.
You know what? Even me, even myself, I only have one floor where I have stuff wired. Everywhere else in my house is Wi-Fi 6E. I'm using EERO. I love the service. It's fantastic. So
How much is that per month? The euro.
The EERO is actually a yearly
A
subscription.
yearly
I
subscription.
think I only paid like $20 for
Oh,
the
that's
entire
okay.
year.
That's affordable. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
one thing that people really need to focus on is also the pricing. So when you're talking about subscription, it's something that you need to look into. $20 a year, that is good.
Yeah.
You don't need
There's
to worry
another
about.
package
Yeah.
that includes it's 100, but it includes malware bytes for an entire year for three computers and or three devices. It also includes a VPN. It also includes the package is good. It's a good price for everything if you don't have antivirus software already on your setups.
Yeah.
So I would get that if you need to protect devices. But as far as this setup, it's cheap for like a good business type system. Definitely, like you said, power users. Maybe not for myself because I'm already invested in wireless 6E throughout my home because I've already got smart home devices. Matter definitely makes me curious, and probably it'll work with your Echo Dots all over the premises because of that EERO built-in support.
Yeah,
which will be fantastic.
Yeah, I think everything. I think Amazon is putting everything, all the technologies they've been working on, putting them all into one product or few of the products that they all kind of gel together.
It looks like they're making everything in one. EERO is going to be the backbone of everything.
Yeah.
So the EERO purchase was a good one for Amazon. Definitely not a mistake. So I heard that you also like to watch TV.
Yeah, I love TVs.
And I think that this next one here, the Echo Show 15, which is the humongous frame that they had, which people were like, what am I going to do with this? Now has a reason to exist. And that's the fact that it's getting the whole Fire TV OS. So if you don't have a Fire TV right now, but you do have a Amazon or Alexa Fire TV stick, basically that experience is now in your Fire TV 15. Smaller screen, but great for recipes. What do you think?
I like it because it's all that kind of Alexa stuff on there, and again you get all the streaming, Fire TV, all the Fire TV stuff on there. So for something that they're not just only integrating home stuff but also integrating entertainment stuff, and that's what I like about Amazon. It's a lifestyle thing, and
I did think that the speakers were small, so I'm hoping that maybe there is integration with your Echo Studio speaker or some of your other speakers, because without a proper speaker system, it really is kind of a flat experience. Like, it's not only is it a smaller screen, but it doesn't sound that great without the speaker. So I hope that this device, when you get the update, does allow you to attach your other speakers around the kitchen.
That would have been good. Yeah.
So speaking of Fire TV, we've got the Cube 2nd Gen, which becomes extremely powerful now.
Very nice.
The Borg Cube now has Wi-Fi 6E, which is incredible because previously to that, you know how the Wi-Fi 5 band was getting congested and sometimes you get stutters and drops. Wi-Fi 6E will now give the bandwidth necessary to cut through that. We've also got USB and Ethernet this time around. So if you have a USB key with old photos on it, you can definitely throw that in for a midnight or for a walk down memory lane. And the HDMI in and out, which previously wasn't available to that, allows you input control. So if you have a set-top box from your cable service provider or an Xbox, it will actually integrate finally into this.
Yeah, and you get 4K Ultra HD. So the whole thing is powered by a octa-core 2 gigahertz processor.
Very powerful.
Yeah.
$139.99 seems a little bit steep when you look at like, it's $139 for this little box, right? You can almost buy half a TV.
I guess so. I think at that price it's not too bad. If you say touching towards $200, then it's a bit too much. And
that's a no.
If you had something from Apple like this, it'll probably cost you $250, right?
Yeah.
So $139 is an okay price. It could be cheaper. If it was $100, go and get it. Definitely, right? $139
coming up in October 2022.
Yeah. So I do like it. It's got a bit of blue RGB in there. Maybe not
I
RGB.
guess one thing that makes it worth it is the fact that it comes with, I think it comes with a new version of the remote control, which we'll get to right now.
Yeah.
The Alexa Voice Remote Control Pro.
Like this one.
If the Fire TV Cube comes with this remote control, then I think the $139 price tag is worth it, because there are two features that are indispensable for me as someone that loses that remote control. It's small. So the new Alexa Voice Remote Control Pro is $34.99, comes out in November, so hopefully it hits Black Friday. There is an ambient light feature, so if it's in your couch, you can ask Alexa to turn it on. The other thing is you can actually ask Alexa to locate it, so there must be some sort of audio or visual cue to it. And you can set these new buttons to routines. So if you want to turn off the lights for movie night and have Alexa announce it's movie night, you can put that onto that one button and it will do the thing. I lose my remote control all the time. I ask the kids to find it. Sometimes Roomba takes it and sweeps it under the couch because it's gone by.
Yeah, do you know what? You know when you do your Alexa thing, right? We say, Alexa, do this, and sometimes I'm thinking, it's weird just saying the command. I know this. I know the Alexa thing, the speaker, whatever. It's listening to you and they'll take in the commands. But I just can't. I'm still not quite used to it yet. But this remote control, though, I can grab it. I'm an old-fashioned guy. I like to go, hey, grab it, and I say, and I'll speak into it, and then he'll do the commands, right? And it'll just do that as well. And I like that. It's just me.
Well, because we've lost the remote control so often, my kids have actually just gone to asking Alexa for pretty much everything.
Yeah.
They've adapted quite rapidly. Now, onto the other Fire TV, which is the one that I think a lot of people are looking forward to. And I think this explains why
I'm really interested.
Previously, they had a fire sale on all of their 55, 65, and 75-inch OMNI series, because I got a TV for $549 that was 65 inches. It had Fire TV built right in. So they were selling these things.
You had one?
Overburdened.
You bought one?
I have the one before this new series, which is the Fire TV OMNI QLED series. Right. Now mine's not a QLED. Mine's just a LCD TV. But it was huge, and it was $549. You can't beat that.
Yeah, that's a good price.
It's hanging on my wall, and I absolutely love it.
And it's got built-in Fire TV, right? Okay, so what about this new one that they announced?
So the new one is the Fire TV OMNI QLED series. Is the upgrade. So I actually wanted a QLED TV, but I couldn't find one that had all the features, right? So I settled for the OMNI series because it had the better LCD screen. It had Fire TV built in. Like I'm happy with it the way it is, but this particular TV has the better QLED screen, and it looks like it's going to be another part. Like it seems like it's another partnership with TCL, because it looks like a TCL. Yeah, $799 starting price for a 65-inch. Has Dolby Vision IQ, which is the new standard for Dolby Vision, HDR Plus, and one of the features that I do like is the adaptive brightness, because sometimes in contrast, not just brightness, so that it adapts to the lighting conditions. It'll save electricity. It'll look great and consistent in all lighting conditions. But one of the things that I think that when it comes to ambient computing and everything like that, this screen will be a lot more useful to someone that's walking by that needs a glance of their day. It's basically a super powered Echo Show 15 that hangs on the wall that you're always with. Weather reports, everything will come in when you come into the room. It'll turn itself off when you're not doing it.
That's what I really like that. I like that. They have the sensor at the bottom, right? That if you walk past and it's on and you enable it, it will come on with all the the day's schedule, like I said, weather reports and that kind of stuff. And things like that. So it's almost like back in, I think, 5-6 years ago, Bose had a TV where it had tracking. So when you're moving left or moving right, the TV stand would rotate to where you are. But of course,
Amazon has a device that does that too. I'm just surprised that they didn't do it here.
Yeah, this is something that the TV doesn't need to move. It hangs on the wall, and you can use it as a wall frame as well for photos. Or they have, I think, a gallery. You know, when the Windows 11 or 10, you come on, you have the different pictures. If you enable the Bing screensaver, they have different pictures from all over the world. And some of those photos are really good, and you don't know where they come from. But you click on that information, it'll give you that as well. So this Fire TV will have that as well. Not the Bing photos, but photos of their own collection.
This is licensed
and
high
if you
quality.
want to find out more about that,
like it's
very high quality 4K. Yeah, and you can bring up the information about that photo, or you can have your own photos and stuff like that. So that could be used. For example, the TV. If you look at my TV right now, look, it's just black.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything for you.
Doesn't
right?
do anything, right?
This will do something.
So,
for you.
yeah, imagine I could have that on like a wallpaper,
Yeah.
like part of the wall, picture frame, and different photos, different days, whatever. And it could give you that kind of inspiration, right?
And in the
So that's
Amazon
why-
world, it shows you the deliveries that have come to your house as you come down the
Oh,
stairs.
yeah.
So if they're piling up in front of your door, you'll know what came in. It'll also show you when your other Amazon subscriptions are coming to be delivered, like the toilet paper and the coffee. It'll show you what the weather is like. I think there is a use case for something like this in the most used part of your room. Not everyone has an additional Alexa Echo Show Fire TV 15, right? But everyone has a TV.
Yeah, I like that. Everything's built in as
Yeah.
well with the Fire TV, and everything's integrated with the Amazon and the Alexa. That's what I like about that.
And it's $7.99 for a QLED TV. This is comparable to a bare bones TCL 65-inch QLED TV. Like like why would you want a bare bones TV when you can get the Fire TV OMNI QLED series for $7.99? The 75-inch is going to be incredible as well too, but they didn't give a price. I bet you anything it's going to be at least $1,000.
Maybe.
And it's
But it's a
pre-order.
pre-order. It's
Yeah.
a pre-order only. Okay, so what expect by Christmas?
You know what? Funny story. I ordered my 65-inch when they first announced it. This is around when COVID hit.
Oh,
And-
yeah.
And for some reason, I had to wait 4 months for it. But the price,
Okay.
I couldn't resist. $549 for a 65-inch TV. That's incredible.
Yeah, I'm actually tempted to.
That's
to get
Canadian.
one, actually.
That's Canadian.
So that's cheap.
That's cheap. It's got Fire TV and everything built in. It even does Zoom calls. You can put the camera up top. It does Zoom calls.
Oh, you can plug in a webcam
Yep.
with a USB. Plug it straight into the USB
right.
port. It will detect it, and oh wow,
Yeah.
that's good.
And even shows me my front door when people are coming up to deliver stuff. So it actually interrupts my my stream. It pauses it, and then it tells me who's at the door.
Oh, all in the big screen
Right on
rather
the big
than the Show 15
That's
that
right.
you mentioned. So
I
it's a
highly
big
recommend
screen.
it. I highly recommend it.
All right, here we go. $799 starting price.
Not bad.
From
That's
and it's,
US.
pre-order.
Keep in mind. So in Canada, it'll probably be closer to $1,000 or $1,100. Still
Yeah.
very affordable for a QLED TV because if you compare the market, $1,200 to $1,300 is what 65-inch QLEDs do sell for, especially in the TCL. Samsungs are a little more expensive. LGs are a little bit more expensive, and Sony's are way more expensive. But you know,
Yeah.
to get something like this, to get all these features, to get the Amazon Alexa updates constantly because they're updating that OS all the time. Whereas before the Tizen TVs, good luck finding an update for that. This is going to be fantastic.
Yeah, I think Alexa.
Yeah, that's gonna be fantastic.
Amazon have really done a really
Yeah.
good job with.
And speaking of Alexa, she just turned on because we've been saying her wake word. Alexa, stop.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Alexa, do not disturb.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
There you
mentioned
go.
that.
So Alexa
There you
is
go.
very sensitive. It's trained herself to my voice. But and that's basically the whole Bezos truckload of products for fall 2020
Yeah.
from Amazon. Most of
I'm-
these products will be coming out before the end of the year, some in October, some in November, maybe hitting Black Friday. So of this list, I know you're into the TV, but is there anything else that you want?
Definitely the TV and the Ring system. I like that. And who knows if we'll get a new car? I don't know about that. But yeah, definitely TV. I love the TV. I like that.
All right.
Definitely.
So that's our coverage of the Amazon Fall 2022 event. So many products, so much new tech to talk about here, and so many products that will go under the tree for Christmas more than likely. If you have any questions about any of the products or any comments, especially on the privacy parts of it, you know, this is something that we definitely struggle with, even though we love gadgets. Please leave those comments below. We would love to have a constructive conversation with you about that.
Yeah.
And of course, if you're looking for people to yell at, definitely yell at me. I'm on Twitter at Stephen
Or
Fung
NVIDIA.
or Instagram at Stephen Fung. How about you, Winston?
You can find me at Instagram as well, at Winston Chim, as well as Twitter at Winston Chim. It's more lifestyle stuff like this kind of stuff. And you can find me there as well. So
you can also slide into his DMs, and he probably won't have a choice but to answer you. Well, that's all the time we have for this week. Thank you so much for engaging with us on our podcast show. Make sure that you tune in next Wednesday again, where we're going to have a brand new show on something that you might be interested in. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.